Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're taking a look at the Master Grade Shenlong Gundam EW Liaoya Unit. This is, of course, the P-Bandai version, but as you're seeing it now, there's actually nothing P-Bandai about it. This is just exactly the Shenlong Gundam EW that you would get from just the regular standard release. The only thing that is different about the Liaoya unit is that it comes with a new special weapon and thing for that, and then it also comes with some waterside decals. So we'll take a look at everything that it comes with, of course, here in a moment. But just on the construction of the kit, just my initial thoughts building it. It was a fun kit to build. It's been a while since I've built a Master Grade kit from the Wing series, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing some more in the near future. I've got some more in the backlog that I need to get around to reviewing and sharing with you guys, so I'll definitely plan on doing that as soon as I can. But as for this one, I need to give a special thank you, as always, to USA Gundam Store for their support in sponsoring this review. Do check the link to their site down below. You can get the regular kit like this that you're seeing now, or the P-Bandai version, or other P-Bandai kits, or everything else there on their store. You can get that all 10% off using my coupon code ZakuAurelius10. The link to their site and the coupon code is down in the video description, so do check that out. Thank you guys all so much for supporting them as well. Alright, so let's talk about some of the included accessories and things. Well, first we'll go through the ones that are not new to this specific version of the kit, just the standard accessories. So first up, of course, we have our action-based connector, very important. And our standing pilot figure here of Wu Fei. Do wish, if for these P-Bandai different variants, I wish that they would give us a new pilot figure as well. You know, just the standard one is fine, but including a new one to go along with the new version of the kit, it'd just be a kind of cool addition to have in there as well, I think, personally. And then for the hand options, they're just swappable fingers. So the thumb is on a ball joint, the fingers are just swappable. So there we've got the closed fists. We've also got a set of extended fingers like this. And then we've got a set of holding hands here with a peg in there for plugging into either the new weapon or the old weapon. You can use these there for that. Then we have another set of holding hands here. Now these are just supposed to be for like support hands for the beam tridents there, so those don't have the peg because there's certain peg holes in the staff of the trident. So here, let's take a look at that. Looks very nice. The effect part on it is very cool in that fluorescent green. You can see here's 2 points where you can plug in the hands, but if you wanted to have a hand plug it onto anywhere else on there, you use that second hand option part that's just the round one that doesn't have the peg in it, so you can have that as a secondary support hand on there without having to actually plug it into one of these specific holes. Now those also act as a way for you to plug this onto the backpack when not in use, so you can just remove that effect part. And then around here on the backpack you have this little circle part there, which you're meant to just be able to pop out. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to get that out. There we go. Careful not to lose that. And then we have a second part here, which is the kind of opened up version of that, which you'll plug in its place. Pop that into there like so, and then you can attach this onto the backpack like that for storage on its back, which is pretty nice. Then of course it's already attached onto here, but we do have this dragon head, which is just plugged onto the side of the arm there. Now the plug is specific for the left side, so you can't plug it onto the other side or it would just kind of wouldn't really work. But I feel like not really the strongest connection there, so it's kind of in there well enough, but I feel like if you move that around too much, it does kind of tend to pop out pretty easily. But anyway, this can be equipped or used by just folding that down like that. And it's going to look a bit weird because now you're kind of turning the arm a little bit like backwards in order to actually point that out, and you can see not really going to be standing the weight already. It's already starting to sink down a little bit from the weight of that, unfortunately, and I was afraid of that. We can see we've got some cool stickers there, some foil stickers there for kind of like the eyes of the dragon head. And anyway, we can fold out the teeth on that like this, and also the whole thing does kind of extend forward a little bit like that. These little flaps on the back can also be extended out a little bit like so. So while it's definitely a cool looking thing, it's really giving me some trouble here with the arm. I'll see what I can do, if I can maybe figure out if there's a different way. Maybe I'm missing something in the manual. We'll take another look at that in a little bit here when we try out some poses. But then let's get to what's new specific for this particular version of the kit, and well, that would be first off this nice big sheet of waterside decals. Very nice. We got mostly red and white, and then a couple of gray ones down here for the logos that'll go like on the shoulders or whatever there. So really nice sheet of waterside decals included with this. And then we've got the namesake Liaoya Unit here, which is basically a new version of the shield and this wire connecting that to this new really cool looking sword weapon. So really cool part separation on that with the white, red, and yellow parts all kind of poking out amongst themselves there. And then you got this wire here, which is really nice. I'm actually really quite impressed with that. Then you have this mesh cloth kind of wrap that slides over that, and it works really quite well. Although you're meant to be able to sort of like throw the sword and have it out, this wire is definitely not going to be able to hold up the sword on its own. Not a chance. So we've got this extra little stand here to help you with that, with this little part there attached on the top. Now the stand is not new. We've had this in a few other different kits in the past, but the connection piece there at the top is specific for this. Basically just meant to rest the sword on top of there like that. So when you're posing, if you're posing it, having him actually throwing the sword, you can use this stand for that. So that's pretty cool. And ultimately the only parts that you end up having left over is just this original connector piece and piece for the inner part of the shield, which are now different for this new version of it. So very little waste in this kit, which is nice. The shield itself will just plug here onto the side of the opposite arm there as usual. And so there you go, it works really nicely. Alright, now let's get into some of the articulation of the kit, and before we do that, I just want to say one thing that I love about this design is how simple it is. It doesn't have like really huge shoulders or like a really huge backpack or anything, nothing like really huge, big, sticking out, flashy anywhere. It's just a very simple, understated design, and I really like it a lot. Definitely prefer it over the TV animation version, so definitely Katoki did some nice work on this one. But anyway, aside from the 2 foil stickers that we saw for the eyes on the dragon, we've also got some foil stickers here for the eyes, as well as the 2 head cameras there on the front, and then around here on the back, one more for the camera on the back of the head. But you don't really have to use those, you can just have the clear part inside there, which you do have. I just threw the stickers on there just for the effect. But really cool how you have the little Vulcans on the side in a separate gray piece of plastic as well. So just the head sculpt on this and the part separation on the head itself, just looking really fantastic. As far as the articulation of that, you can get it up pretty far up to there, which is a pretty good upward bend, and then down all the way to there. Very nice. As for the torso section, we really only got a little bit of forward and back bend here. You can see back it goes a little bit, but forward really not all that much there, and then side to side again just a little bit there, not really a whole lot. Rotation not going to be a problem. As for the cockpit hatch, basically need to pull down this part here in the front, which I guess is kind of easier to push the bottom part to force the top down, but that just opens up pretty simply like that. We've got a seated pilot figure up inside there, so really simple cockpit hatch opening there. As for the shoulders, they'll come really far out to the front, all the way out to there, so no problems with forward movement of the shoulders there. Shoulder armor itself will move up and down. You can bring the arm up all the way up to there, so really nice upward movement for the shoulders as well. Other than that, the arm works pretty normally, just got rotation there at the top. Double joint here in the elbow will give you a pretty full bend there. I guess maybe we can try it and fold it like that and get a little bit more depending on how you bend that. So pretty good. And the wrist is just on a ball joint, and as I said before, the thumb is also on a ball joint, and the fingers are just swappable. Down here at the front skirts, and again, just love the part separation here with the yellow, the red, and then the yellow and blue bits here and white, and then up underneath this kind of front crotch bar here, you have another vent down there. So some, again, nice understated part separation there, and the colors look good and everything. So front skirts and the skirting armor itself just all look really nice on this as well. Can bring those up to about 90 degrees almost to get those out of the way for the legs. Hip joints aren't on a track or anything, so you just kind of, whatever you get is what you get, so you can get those up out of the way. And I think like the skirt armor does also move like a little bit out to the side. I wasn't really sure if that was really going to be useful for anything, but I guess if you are trying to get the leg up really as high as you can, up like this, the ability to move the front skirt armor a little bit off to the side like that could be useful in terms of just getting that out of the way for bringing up the knee a little bit higher. So you got a nice double joint there in the knee as well. It's not really very noticeable, but the knee armor does separate a little bit when you bend the knee. It would have been nice if the knee armor would kind of like stay towards the front, but it is a little bit separated from the lower leg there, so you have a little bit of part separation there when you bend that knee. But just real quick, back up to the skirt armor here. The side skirts will move up to about there, so you can get the legs up out to the side pretty far as well, like that. And then around here in the back skirts are also individually articulated, so you can move those up and down like so. The backpack, nothing moves on that, but again, it's nice, just simple, some nice details on there. The thrusters don't move or anything, it's just simple, stuck onto there. At the top of the thigh, you've got some rotation for the leg like that, and then down here in the ankle section, you've got some bend side to side, basically kind of a double ball joint there. Really big feet on this design. It's got some pretty large feet compared to the rest of the body. We got a nice toe bend here, up and down there, so ultimately you can bring that up to the front to about to there, and then point it down all the way to there, which is very nice. Around here on the back, nothing really to see there, but up underneath the feet, you've got some nice detail that can be painted in down there. And a quick size comparison, just in case any of you were unaware, that the mobile suits in Gundam Wing tend to be a little bit smaller. So here you can see it compared to the Blitz Gundam from C, which is not really all that different, but you can definitely see a little bit of a size difference there, as the Shenlong is going to be just a little bit shorter than your average 1/100 scale Gundam kit. Alright, now then, because I don't have the original kit of this, and I don't plan on getting the regular original version now that I have this one, this review I want to act as a review for sort of just the original kit for anyone who's interested in getting the original kit, and also just include, obviously, of course, the parts for the Liaoya unit as well, in case there's any of you who do really like those parts and do want to track down this particular P-Bandai version of the kit as well, which I think is definitely worth it, because if you can get it for a good price, it's not going to cost you all that much more than the irregular version, I hope. But if you did really want this particular version of it, your options are pretty limited. It's basically this, or there was that really old, I think it was made by TT Hongli or something, some bootleg company that made a version of this that was real cheap, of course, but I heard pretty bad in terms of the construction of it, even though it's just like a couple of parts. But I would not recommend. I've never built it, but what I've heard about that, I wouldn't recommend it to you guys. The other option, of course, would just be scratch building. Now, basically, all you have to do is just scratch build a connector on the back of the existing shield to account for the wire, and then you just basically have to scratch build the whole sword. Just building a sword, maybe not the most complicated thing in the world, but just the time it would take you to do that compared to the extra cost of just buying this kit, I personally would tend to fall on the side of just buying the kits and saving myself the time of having to scratch build that. I don't think it would be that much worth it for me, but that's up to you guys. Now, as for the kit with the new parts, I feel like it's a little bit of a mixed bag here. Like with the dragon head with the original kit, looks cool, a little bit of weight issues there, and a little bit of the connection issues with that on the arm. With the new parts as well, they look really cool. The new sword is cool, and the wire for that looks really cool. I think adds the kind of really cool dynamic effect to the look of the suit and everything. Of course, the shield looks cool, but the shield is not new. I mean, it's the same shield, it's just the underside part is slightly different. But yeah, you're just not really going to be able to use, of course, the throwing gimmick without the stand. I think always having an extra stand for something just really takes away from the look for me personally. I don't like having it. Of course, obviously there's not really any other way around that without having to use a much thicker gauge of wire or something for that, which I guess you could do. You could modify that on your own. But even if you're not throwing the sword, even just having it just held in the hand with the shield and the sword all connected onto the arm there, it's getting pretty heavy, and it's not really going to be able to hold it up or in any really dynamic poses really all that well. Just the shoulder and elbow joints on this kit I'm just finding are just a little bit weak for the pretty large weapons that it's got to wield. So yeah, like I said, it's kind of mixed bag, pros and cons, things to consider, but overall it still looks really fantastic. That's the most important thing for me, is just how does it look, and I think it still looks really great. It just has a little bit of trouble doing some posing. Easy enough to fix that just by tightening the joints or something like that. It's always something that you can do. So overall, I would still say my feelings toward the kit is very positive. I would still definitely highly recommend it for anyone who's interested in the kit. If you're a fan of the look, if you're a fan of the design of this, if you want to get the standard version or the Liaoya Unit version, I think you're going to be happy with the kit either way. Just be aware of some of the things that I've pointed out. So overall, the kit, you know, the construction of it is really nice. It was a fun kit to build. Kind of simple as far as master grades go, but it has a nice level of detail on it. It's not really super overly heavily detailed, but it's got some nice details around on there and just really nice design and proportions and everything. It looks really good. So that is it for the review, guys. If you have further questions or comments, of course, feel free to leave those down below. Another just big thank you to USA Gundam Store for their support, and thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. Bye bye.